the Around the NFL podcast, is perfectly positioned to make their heel turn.
Oh, I love that. From the Phoenix Convention Center, it's Around the NFL, Arizona Super Bowl edition. The big game. Actually, there's a clock behind us. As we record this, the Super Bowl is 2 days, 7 hours, 2 minutes, and 21 seconds away.
Now 20 seconds.
Now 19.
If we take the heel turn, though, what do I do? Because I've been the heel the whole time. You guys are the bad guys for the next 10 years of this show.
Have you ever watched
I'm
professional
the baby
wrestling?
face.
Yeah, you turn baby face. But that never works. Whenever they, one way or the other, 90% of the time, when you turn the guy face to heel or heel to face, it's kind of a desperate move to reinvent the wrestler before you kick him into some southern territory and he's never heard from him.
I think that's where Gregg sits at this point.
Well,
in his career,
I think that's what the sound drop said our entire podcast, that we're at 10 seasons
on the
in.
precipice of irrelevance around the NFL.
We're right when we're feeling ourselves.
You guys have been really feeling yourselves this week, and I feel
feeling myself. I'm conceited.
Very close to the sun, flying high.
Marc now.
On borrowed wings. What did Marc know? What did Marc know?
A little pop culture reference.
What was it?
What
was it, Marc?
I just saw what he said was funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Greg likes rap, so. Hey, before we get into things, we have NFL honors recap, including Hall of Fame inductions or announcements. We have some sandwich props for Super Bowl 57 to share. We have guests, good ones, some of the best running backs in football on the show today. How about that? How are we going to do it? I don't know.
How are we going to do what, as interviewers?
Yeah, I don't know.
Interlocutors?
It's pretty hit or miss. So hopefully it goes well.
They're like, oh, the running game's dead. Running backs are irrelevant. Not today. Not on this show.
Very well done. But more importantly, I think one of the things that people love about the show is the human side of it. And I think we need to, Marc, address something very human that happened yesterday. We were at a Super Bowl soiree. Justin, we couldn't help but notice that something seemed off with our producer, the Gravedigger.
Yeah, I think if you get to know Justin in general, and Gregg used the word yesterday, which I think was apt, an unflappable individual on the work scene. But then we went out socially with him, and something just seemed off. I would describe him as jittery. I thought at one point maybe he had a bomb attached to his body and just didn't want to tell us. I didn't know there was something strange occurring.
There was, you were waiting for a wink, I'm in danger, please help me. And were you, Justin? How are you right now?
I feel good. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this was a bit of you guys just maybe reading a little too much into me being a little quiet.
No. We're all experts at the human condition.
I will say I'm definitely missing my bae, my boo, Jessica, as she's known on this show.
I mean, Justin, did you get a chance to communicate with her after we hung out?
We heard an update on that as well.
Yeah, I went home from our soiree and FaceTimed with her for about 5 hours.
Oh, my God.
So we had a really
5 hours?
nice night together, just hanging out.
Well,
we
that's
watched
nice.
a movie together, just on FaceTime.
She's coming here, right?
She'll be here this afternoon.
And you had a 5-hour conversation on FaceTime last night?
It's just every day away from her is heartbreaking. So
You know what? You're in love, and I applaud you, Justin.
thank you.
You know what? I'm going to check my cynicism at the door. I'm happy for you as well.
Thanks.
That's pretty intense, though, I got to say. That is
Young
next
love.
level.
The 5-hour thing, respect it, love it. It's beautiful how much you guys miss each other. Is there a chance that someone's kidnapped a member of your family and they told them that you can't tell your podcast host?
Yeah.
I think there's a chance.
Cook up a cover story about some Fugazi 5-hour FaceTime conversation?
Something more is happening, and we're concerned, and we love you.
I really appreciate it.
And there will be better days, Justin.
Your concern means a lot to me, and I just appreciate how much you want to know if there was a kidnapping. But no, everything's fine. Everything's good.
And just so people don't think that we're raging a-holes, we did actually text Justin after the event.
We did.
In a sincere fashion, in a sober fashion, to ask if you were all right.
Sober feels strong.
Sincere.
It was nice. I love you guys, so thank you.
All right, good.
Love you too, buddy.
You've done great work all week.
First Super Bowl in the big chair. We sort of take it for granted because, like Marc said, this is a man without flaps, unflappable, but doing a great job.
The man danced in front of 2,000 people in England. You know?
It's up to 2,000.
No, Marc's text last night at 8 p.m. was, funny night. Hey, Justin, we love you. If you're really having a rough evening, tomorrow will be new and good. And then I chimed in with that, you are not alone. And you wrote, appreciate you guys, heart, everything is good, smiley face. And that was when he was probably been hour 2 of his conversation with his live-in girlfriend.
But that's the real us. We care about
who's
others.
Coming today.
Right.
You
got to bridge that 13-hour gap there.
I don't know if all of our listeners love the 6-minute update here, but our cameraman is our MVP of the week, and he's been laughing at all our jokes. I love it. I love it. I love him.
He has a name.
Yeah,
sorry.
I know, but Travis. I didn't know it.
Remember what I said yesterday? 98% of our show is for the listener and 2% is for us. We're now down to 94%.
Okay,
we are.
But actually, 4% for Travis.
94 for the listeners, 4 for Travis, the cameraman, 2 for us.
I think you broke that down accurately.
Did it add up to 100? Hey, all right, let's get into some NFL honors talk. Let's hit the news.
Tom's won 7 times, went
no.
to 10.
Oh, no.
He's on some beach, so maybe Kirk could win.
Wait, you can really sing?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Since he's been gone.
Wait, hold on. First of all, you can really sing. What?
Kirk Cousins, wearing many, many chains, as per the bit, this season, singing with the great Kelly Clarkson at NFL Honors. I thought Kelly did a nice job, by the way. That's a good job by Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, she did. She leaned into her strengths.
She's got a lot of talent. She's a great singer and very personable. It's a good job by her. And Cousins, and that was, by the way, a interpretation of "Since You've Been Gone," not the Kelly Clarkson song that you guessed, which was what? Unbreakable or something?
Well, no, it's like, please don't forget to dance when you're dancing. But Kirk Cousins, just to let you know, I wasn't so surprised to see that he was adequate on stage because there was that footage that came out of him at Holland Christian High School where he was in a school play.
That's right.
And, was made fun of, but that's another aspect of his God-given abilities. He's a thespian.
Of the 3 NFL players who did sing, him, Cameron Jordan, and Kittle, I think Kirk was the most ready for the moment. But Kittle had some, some chutzpah to his performance.
That's good. Kittle loves it. He loves the stage. All right, let's get into it. The winners of the it's a major award, 2023 NFL Honors. And by the way, Greggy, we were talking about this while it was on in the hotel bar. We were getting some dinner with our producer, Jason Kleinman. This is nice. I like the NFL Honors. I feel it's come into itself, and it is nice that a guy, you see all these guys get to go up on stage. They get to be dressed up. They give their speeches. I guess it's kind of ephemeral and silly, but also so are real award shows, quote unquote, like the Grammys and Oscars and all that. Why not?
Right. I think like MVP is a more definitive and sometimes earned award than some of the acting awards, where it's like more of an art form. Like we can almost definitively say Patrick Mahomes was the best player in the league, and I think putting it on Thursday night's been a big move. It used to be on the weekend and get a little buried.
So, yes, Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP. He got 48 out of the 50 first-place votes. Jalen Hurts got a first-place vote. Josh Allen got a first-place vote. Hurts came in. So the point system they have, it was Mahomes 490, Hurts 193, Allen 151. So there you go. It was a runaway win for the Chiefs quarterback, who will attempt to win his second Super Bowl on Sunday here in Arizona. Any thoughts on that? Or should I just keep rolling through the awards here?
Getting to that quickly, especially if he were to win like a Super Bowl MVP that quickly, is it is worth mentioning. Completely unprecedented in the history of the NFL. I mean, to have the team success and the MVP success that early in his career. For instance, it took Tom Brady 11 years to get all those awards. But the harder part is winning on Sunday. I don't know if he's going to do that.
We shall see.
I like the voting that you get to see like who gets votes. It's a little weird that Trevor Lawrence came in 7th for MVP, but I guess that's what
get
happened.
that far down, and it's like, come on.
Geno Smith got a 5th place vote for MVP.
We'll get to Geno
we
in
know
a second.
we know who cast that vote.
We do?
You, I would assume.
I mean, I would love it if I had a vote. Danny Kellington, the trainer, the EMT medical professional who helped with the Bills, got a 5th place vote. How about that?
Oh, wow. That's strange. Offensive Player of the Year, although that man is a hero. I don't know if he should be getting an MVP vote for play on the. Justin Jefferson won Offensive Player of the Year. And you know what, Greg? I know you've long been down on Offensive Player of the Year as an award, but it does allow a player like Jefferson to be recognized for his greatness when otherwise it's a quarterback that's always going to take that big trophy for offensive greatness. So maybe there is a lane for the OPOY trophy for
just make it. I just think make
reasonable minds.
Why not just make quarterbacks ineligible for it then?
They kind of are, though, aren't they?
Well,
No,
they
Mahomes-
definitely done.
They're not
QB.
ineligible, but
Mahomes
think
came in
that's-
2nd and Hurts came in 3rd, and it wasn't like a blowout vote or anything. So we could have had a situation where Mahomes won both.
I think it should be a
Justin,
non-QB award.
can you look up the last 10 Offensive Player of the Year awards? Thank you. Defensive Player of the Year, Nick Bosa, and that was widely expected. Not a ton of drama. Man, big day for my team because the Jets win. They sweep Offensive Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson, and Defensive Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner. Not to mention, Darrelle Revis goes into the Hall of Fame. Joe Klecko finally gets into the Hall of Fame. Nice day for a fan base. Otherwise, it doesn't get a lot of nice days. And I think it's interesting with Sauce. I'm very happy. I would have been really upset. Garrett Wilson absolutely could have made a case for other guys in that category, although he deserved it as well. But Sauce, I thought, was truly special, and I think it's fitting, Marc, in a lot of ways. I remember on this very podcast in August talking about how the way the beat reporters and people close to that team were talking about Sauce in training camp was the way they talked about Revis. Like right away you knew this guy's different. He's going to hit the ground running and be a star. And it's fitting to me on the same night that Sauce is on the stage winning Rookie of the Year, Revis is on that stage getting the Hall of Fame, which he obviously greatly deserved as well. Very nice.
Yeah, there's symmetry and poetry to that. And, you know, there is also symmetry to the fact that Darrelle Revis never really had a quarterback in New York. And, like, that's what needs to be different for Sauce
We don't need
Gardner.
symmetry for the
No, but
in that category.
that's the case right now, too. And it says a lot about Garrett Wilson to win. And he's very deserving. I was on the Brock Purdy train, but, I mean, I have no issue with him winning. And to do it with so much quarterback carousel and chaos in New York, it says a lot about him just sort of that the receivers that can do that are next level, and he already looks like he's going to be an absolute star for a decade to come.
So Garrett Wilson won this award because they changed the voting procedures. Ken Walker had more first-place votes. So in every year previous, he would have won the award. And I'm glad they changed the voting because Walker had 19 first-place votes. Garrett Wilson had 18. It was very close. Brock Purdy had a number of first-place votes and was reasonably close for third place, too. But Wilson was more consistent across the board, made all the ballots, had more second-place votes, and ended up winning by a decent margin and I think he was the better option. I would have had Wilson and Olave won, too. I would have had Olave over those other top two. I think he finished fourth.
Can we I know Aaron Rodgers is on his retreat right now. I'm just going to try to just let him know what's going on right now. Just going to knock gently on his door, his darkness retreat. Aaron, I got to tell you something. You know what? I'm kicking this door in. Aaron Rodgers, the Jets swept the Rookie of the Year categories. Let's go. We have a future. We just need you. Wake up! Wake up! All right.
Feels like
I don't know if that's going to work.
No,
I feel like
think
that would
you-
be absolutely counterproductive.
You're right. You're right. Well,
That is like the one. He's like, I'm not going to New York.
get
now.
up! Get up! Anyway, Comeback Player of the Year, Geno Smith, another well-earned award. Greggy, congratulations to you personally on that. The biggest surprise, again, we're sitting in the hotel bar. We're watching this. The sound is off, but we hear, we read lips, Geno Smith. What a moment. Geno's going to go up there, and Geno famously began the season in such an exciting way, where he beat Russell Wilson and the Broncos in that much-hyped showdown in Week 1, and then after the game had the famous quote.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though. That's the problem. I ain't right back. Let's go.
And Greggy, I was so excited to hear what he had prepared for this, and he wasn't there. Did we get any type of update on why that was the case? That felt like a perfect moment. You could argue is the greatest moment in Geno's professional career.
Well, I would point out the 5-touchdown performance at the flag football game last week, where he really was probably the MVP. No, I don't know why he wasn't there. He sent out a little tweet many hours before, thanking God, and that was
many hours before.
I know that was probably when he found out. They had a Seahawks fan, Joel McHale, and a fan of the year from the NFL who was a Seahawks fan, give the award. So they clearly knew it was gonna be Geno. I don't know. Maybe he felt like he had his weekend in the sun in Vegas, because I know you guys didn't watch a lot of the Pro Bowl games, but I
watched every minute. Actually.
It did kind of feel like Geno was the star of the show. They really made a big deal. They even asked him after he did the little target practice thing, like, so you write back yet? And he was like, still haven't written back. And it was like maybe he felt like he checked those boxes.
No.
Who knows?
You got to show up to this.
I guess.
Show up to this.
Who knows?
I mean,
why, though?
unless there was something going on that, this is the biggest thing that's happened to Geno Smith. And it's the biggest thing that might ever happen to him. We have no idea if this play will continue. To no-show on this, to me, is an odd move, but I don't know why.
Wow, like a good take there.
What?
How about this? How about this?
There could be a lot of reasons.
He's in the midst of contract negotiations. He goes up there with a planned, carefully cultivated speech that, tears the house down. That makes him more valuable to the Seahawks. Like, this guy, we kind of got a star here.
It could have been like
you know what? The loser of the night is Geno Smith, Greg. You got to admit. I mean, come on.
This is ridiculous.
I think
there might be
him giving that speech could have. You are speaking to so many other football players that are wondering what will happen with their careers if they're stifled right now, if they're not who they are. And he goes and says nothing. He no-shows. But we don't know why. So maybe.
Yeah, we don't know. It could. Maybe he's uncomfortable with all the attention and adulation.
I don't think that's the case.
He is the comeback player of the year. He could have spoke.
Because he's been so outspoken and so he's loved being on the mic this whole season.
He could have been the voice of the disenfranchised.
It was a lost opportunity on that front to help others, to inspire others, Dan.
We're getting Gregg mad. We got to stop. Coach of the year, Brian Daboll. Marc, now you take your bow. I know that is your boy toy.
Well, I actually thought that Kyle Shanahan should win this, but I think that Brian Daboll, Coach of the Year, we just accept that it is narrative-driven, and he's more than a narrative. He turned what we think about the New York Giants completely around. I think he's a difference-making coach, and I think he's totally deserving. And, I mean, he sort of checks all the boxes for it.
He does. I think it is hard for,
I mean, what else do you want from Coach of the Year? It seems like it's never really always it's not the best coach necessarily. It's the coach that made the biggest difference for a team in disarray to the playoffs.
Shanahan was close.
Pissed off, Angelo.
He came in second. Peterson came in third.
Doug, how do you feel about this? I feel like you came close to the AFC title game.
I'm pissed off, Angelo.
He's a man of few words.
I feel bad for him.
He's very repetitive as well.
I feel like Nick Sirianni, though, was a pretty big victim of his success. Everyone, once you got through week 2 or 3, thought the Eagles were this great team, but they were like the 10th most likely team to win the Super Bowl in the preseason odds. They were by far the best team. And when you look at in-season decision-making, during games, he's really stood out there, too, and he was like an afterthought here. That
was kind of a stacked category this year, I thought.
Yeah, it was.
Couldn't really go wrong, but congratulations to Daboll. I think the Daboll one I felt good because a lot of people thought that's a 4-13 team this year.
Absolutely.
And
I'm not saying he's
not. Second round of the playoffs.
He's deserving to me. I would have gone Sirianni one, Daboll two.
All right. Any other thoughts on the big? I saw our friend Rachel Bonetta was doing the red carpet. Did you happen to catch Rachel's song about the third Kelsey brother?
Well, talk about being in your wheelhouse. This is what she's excellent at.
Do you got a little bit of
that? I think it's a song for all time. It's a classic.
Heard there's a big game in town. I got a story you might find interesting. Goes a little something like this. On the dark side of the desert, where the Super Bowl's to be played, someone's waiting in the wings to join this big parade. They say it's the Bull of Brothers, but that's just not quite right. There's someone you don't know about, and man, this dog has bite. He's the third Kelsey brother. His name is Raphael. He works for a place that sells Tupperware, and man, he sells it well. He may not have the muscle, and he may not have the might. He may not be going to the Hall of Fame, but I'll tell you he's doing alright. Could it be that the brothers are just jealous and told everyone that he don't exist? Could it be that they're disappointed 'cause all the girls they've loved he's already kissed?
Well done, Rachel. She is quite talented, that Bonetta.
I mean,
almost annoying.
She could be singing with Kelly Clarkson. She's got the chops.
She's very talented. She's funny. She's
Yeah.
a beautiful woman. She's got everything kind of. It's like when I walked in on on Kyle Brandt getting a pump in the gym yesterday. Immediately felt inadequate on a number of levels, and he also killed it at NFL Honors. Maybe next year we need to make our imprint on honors on some level.
She did the
Yeah, I
gritty
think that's a
in front of
stretch.
Justin Jefferson. Did a good job on that, too. Just a woman of
What do you mean
many
that's a
talents.
stretch?
I mean, maybe Kyle and Rachel have skills that we don't have.
Oh.
I know
Kinda
it's
know your role
Well, I know
kinda
it's been a week
situation.
of us, inflating ourselves, and suddenly we're balloons.
Now I'm
rising.
close to the sun.
Yeah.
On borrowed wings.
Yeah, you're
and they're melting
suggesting
away.
that a year from now you're going to be presenting an NFL honors like that. You are living in an alternate reality. So.
All right. You know what? Ambition, it bites at the nails of success, they say.
They do.
Before we take a break here, here are the rest of the class of 2023 Hall of Fame class, a defensive-dominated class. And you know what's kind of cool about this now? Now we're old enough. It's a lot of reason, getting old is not great in some ways. Some ways it is cool. Like when these Hall of Famers now come into focus, and like we remember vividly their playing days. So Rondé Barber, I mentioned Revis. Ya boy, Marc, Joe Thomas, left tackle of the Browns. Zach Thomas, linebacker of the Dolphins. DeMarcus Ware, great pass rusher for the Cowboys and then Broncos. Don Coryell, this is where you love. I know Wes would have an amazing
Eric
Coryell.
Coryell changed offensive
amazing, an innovator as a coach on the offensive side of things. And then in the senior class, Chuck Howley, I mentioned Joe Klecko, and Ken Riley all get nods. Congratulations to all of those men.
It's cool, and if you get a chance to watch the video, I think Steve Weiss sent it out, of how they learn that they are Hall of Famers. They're now using kind of ex-players to do that knock thing where they find out that they get it. So it's
they're not using the big man anymore.
No. Well, he's no longer running the Hall of Fame,
Got it.
David Baker. And so it's like Ty Law, who also played in Aliquippa.
That's pretty cool.
Same high school as Darrell Revis.
Another respectful knock.
DeMarcus Ware, who to me is one of the best pass rushers we've ever seen. I think he had to wait a year, which that's how good the Hall of Fame is. That shocked me, but it was only
he's definitely worthy of first.
It was only 1 year, and the Don Coryell thing is great, and it was great to hear his kids so overwhelmed by it. But it also is a little annoying to me when, like, he died 12 years ago, 13 years ago, and he was someone whose impact was pretty obvious and clear, that he really changed this league into a passing league, and he was up year after year after year. And you mentioned, Wes, we did talk about Don Coryell when he kept getting shot, pushed back at this stage. So it is great to see him make it, but you do sometimes wish Ken Riley also no longer with us, that if they were going to make it, you'd love to see them make it while they're still alive.
It seems like the barrier for some of these coaches, or the bar for them, is a little bit all over the map. And
it's changing, though. We're seeing more coaches.
I think that's how Coryell is getting in. Because before it's like you have to win. Well, he took the Chargers to 2 straight AFC title games, and I think one of the reasons Wes would have known about him and made an imprint on it early on his life was that one of those was against the Bengals in like frigid, like negative 18-degree weather, and those Chargers. They did not make it through that game.
He changed the game. And, it used to be something where the coach and the contributors were going against the players, and they could never get over them.
Right.
But he's a man, if you look compared to certainly a lot of players that are in the Hall of Fame and are deserving, that impacted the sport we see today as much as anyone.
The passage of time, like annoyingly, it struck me that Joe Thomas has not played in 5 years. I kept thinking it was that he had retired much more recently than that.
He's an interesting one because he was so happy and his kids were there and they were just like, we love you, when they opened the door and everything. But like Joe Thomas, there was no mystery. He's known since like 3 years before he retired, whether he wanted to think about it or not, that he was going into the Hall of Fame.
And Klecko was a stud for the Jets. He's the first member of the New York Sack Exchange, the famed New York Sack Exchange, to make the Hall of Fame with Gastineau, Marty Lyons, Abdul Salam. And he was all pro at multiple positions. The defensive tackle, defensive end, had 20.5 sacks in 81. I think that was the year before sacks became an official statistic, which also muddled some of those guys because sacks now are such an important stat for certain players in the league.
Big night for the Jets, and now that we're 8 years out, can you be happy for Darrelle Revis? And it does get a little lost in the shuffle that he was an absolutely integral part of the title that the Patriots won here in the Malcolm Butler game here 8 years ago.
Can I be happy for what?
For that Revis got his ring, a great player. And people kind of forget that season. He changed that defense. It was one last kind of great season for Revis. I think he was a second-team All-Pro, something like that. Terrific season.
Why would Dan need to be happy about
I'm just
that
saying now
particular?
that he's, just for the man, the Darrelle Revis, that he got his ring with the Patriots. Bygones be bygones.
I thought that Revis, who was a kind of very shrewd negotiator, that helped spell the end of his first run with the Jets. He landed with the Bucs, uninspired, short-term stay there, then went to the Patriots, so he chased the ring, got the ring, came back to the Jets on a big contract and fell off hard, and there were questions about his effort. I didn't like, in general, the end of his career. So, no, him winning a Super Bowl as kind of a hired gun does very little for me personally.
The Pats was his last great moment, but that was it gets a little lost in the shuffle. It's like that was a great hired gun season.
Great. As a
you know what I
Patriots
mean?
fan, I'm sure it does a lot for you.
Like
but the gist of your argument is that Dan needs to come around and be celebrating that, and I think that's an odd request.
Seems I wasn't really expecting.
I do like
win him over. First team All Pro. How about that season? First team.
I do like, though, when Gregg, who's distancing himself as a New England sports fan, sometimes the mass hole comes out sometimes, and that's okay. I don't mind that. I grew up with a lot of them. That's good, but I do want to just say, like, Jets fans don't get a lot of good things.
Yeah.
So if you want to come in with your 6 Super Bowl rings and then try to tarnish Revis, that's great, buddy. Have fun with that. But I will appreciate.
Tarnishing. What are you talking about?
You're trying to say like.
I really mean it.
Like Patriot.
No, I'm not saying he's kind of a Patriot. I'm saying he's an all-time great that got to have that. That was a big.
He seems like a good guy, and I'm happy. Career. I'm sure he was very happy to win the ring.
The Massel came out
at
Chase Field last night. The Massel came out when we were at Chase Field.
Site of Game 7 of 01. Yeah, that was a tough one too. Yes, Justin.
I have an update on those Offensive Player of the Year winners that you asked for 15 minutes ago.
Oh, very good. Before we go to break, let's check in on this.
So 2013. Peyton Manning, quarterback, also won MVP. 2014, DeMarco Murray, running back, led the NFL in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns.
That's when the Cowboys drove him into the ground because they had no intention of bringing him back.
And then he went to the Eagles, and then he went to the Titans, where he was second in the NFL in rushing 2 years later. 2015, Cam Newton, quarterback and MVP. 2016, Matt Ryan, also won MVP. 2017, Todd Gurley had 2,500 scrimmage yards that year, was a machine. 2018, Patrick Mahomes also won MVP.
See? This is what I'm talking about. Let's take him out.
2019, Michael Thomas set the receptions record, I think, or receiving yard.
Yes,
he set a record. 2020, Derrick Henry, 2,000 rushing yards. 2021, Cooper Kupp, wide receiver.
So they're figuring it out.
Well, it's trending towards non-quarterback positions.
Sure, but 3 of the last
You just want to make it official.
I mean, that's 3 of the last 7 years the quarterbacks have gotten it.
But each of the last
3. We got
3 in a row.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, Michael Thomas. So
4 in a row.
But in that world, then the MVP has to be a quarterback?
No. In this world, quarterbacks could get left out of the cold. I don't think that'll ever happen, but yeah.
But aren't you, to turn your Revis argument around, but aren't you just now? Can you say you're happy for those players that won that Offensive Player of the Year award, that they could be celebrated in that way?
I am happy.
He's a big man.
No, he's
taking
steps forward.
Yeah. All right, let's take.
I'm loyal to football.
Let's take a break, and we will get to our first guest, star running back, Friday show. All right. So on the Wednesday show, we had big-time wide receivers. Friday show, some of the best all-around running backs in the sport, and joining us right now is one of them. He is Aaron Jones of the Green Bay Packers. What is up, Aaron?
How you doing? Thank y'all for having me.
Well, we did have one running back on Wednesday. Your old buddy Jamal
Williams. That's my guy.
You know, your old team. You have a lot to live up to match what he brought, just energy-wise.
That is a high-energy guy right there. I love it, but it's contagious.
It's been a big year for you, Aaron. You're coming off a big year. You had your over 1,500 yards from scrimmage this season, another big year offensively. You're the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Packers. That's obviously like a huge thing. Where do you stand right now in terms of your feelings about where the Packers are and where you are with the team moving forward?
I feel good where I'm at with the team. Talked to Goody. He came out and said they want me back, maybe restructure or whatever it may be, but they want me back there. So, to be wanted is a great feeling. And then, I feel like we have everything we need there in the locker room. I feel like we started picking it up later on in the season, started putting it together, and showed that we're capable and we got the pieces we need.
Yeah, you've been there a while now. It's kind of snuck up on me when I looked at your career stats and stuff. You're like stacking big, plus 1,200. This year is plus 1,500 yards from scrimmage. Year after.
You're talking about his Pro Football Reference page is starting to look beefy.
I'm just saying, you've been there for a minute. You could, and I know they kind of split up work. And we had a friend who used to be on our show, Nick Wesseling, who's always a huge fan of yours. He always wanted more work for Aaron Jones, But all that splitting, maybe it's kept you fresh, it's kept you healthy. You're more productive than ever. You have a chance now, stacking those years. You keep coming back, you could be the Packers' all-time leading rusher after a handful more years. What do you think about that?
I think that would be a blessing. I made it up to 3 this year. I think the top 2 are like 8,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I still got a little bit to go, but like you said, that is definitely one of my goals. If I'm there long enough, I feel like I can definitely hit that.
I got to ask you, how do you feel about when you go on Twitter or check out what's going on in the league and you see your old wide receiver, Devontae Adams, trying to recruit your current quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, to Las Vegas? That
Slightly annoying.
It's crazy. He already broke my heart once, and now he's trying to break my heart again. Take the quarterback.
You guys, do you talk with Rodgers at this time of year and get an idea of where he's at?
I just give him his space. Let him think. He probably already has a lot of people in his ear. What are you gonna do? Ask him questions. So
let him go in his silent retreat. And
yes,
stuff.
sir.
Well, I don't think you can contact him right now. He is in the dark.
Yeah.
Is it in all seriousness? You don't have to answer this honestly, but it'd be cool if you did. Is it kind of like, at a certain point, every offseason now is about your quarterback and whether he's playing either for the team or playing for another team or retiring or going into the darkness forever? It kind of dominates everything around the Packers.
It has, I think it was the last 3 years. This is the 3rd year. So it has that's a lot of the off-season talk. But, us guys in the locker room, we know we can control what we can control. Just focus on yourself. Get the off season started and going, and control what you can control. If he's here, great, we love it. If he's not, we'll be sad. We'll lose one of our leaders, one of our great locker room guys, and it's hard to replace somebody like that. But I think if that was to happen, Jordan is definitely ready.
You played this Eagles defense. It's gonna be playing on Sunday. You had some success against them. I would be putting it mildly, and they struggled with your running game. When you kind of look at this defense and you look at who the Chiefs have and everything, what did you guys do well and look to attack in terms of you getting you the ball out of the backfield and in the running game? How do you approach it against this team?
We kind of look to attack the D-line, their D-line a little bit. They had some moving pieces. They had guys who were kind of just getting there when we played them. Sue was just getting there. I can't remember who else they had up front of that.
Linval
Joseph, he was just getting there as well. So they wasn't playing as much, so he's like, let's attack the D-line. So, I feel like that's may have changed a little bit because they have some vets stepping in who played at a high level. So they may have changed a little bit, but just that and then matching up against the backers, getting in space. We ran some screen that popped big. They just moving me around. They lined me up at 3 on a broken play. We hit the scramble drill and scored a touchdown. So and just trying to get vertical as quick as possible because they have a fast defense. They have guys who are swarming. But they're always in position for the most part.
They don't quite have an Aaron Jones, but you could do the Pacheco for the getting vertical and the McKinnon for the catching to make it happen.
Yes, sir. I definitely think I'm a huge fan of Pacheco. I got the chance to talk to him in the preseason. I think it was our last preseason game, and I saw how he played, and I just went up to him and gave him his props and told him, "Hey, keep going. Put your head down. It'll work out for you. You put your head down and work." And show up every day and stay consistent, and I believe that's what he did because he's starting. He's having a great year as a rookie, so it makes me happy to see.
Marc, can you engage with Aaron for a moment here? I'm doing some math and figuring out the all-time rushing record and how we're going to get Aaron to the Green Bay Packers record. So while I do the math over here, which I struggle with, I once got a 39 on a state-mandated math test.
I thought you were about to say on the ACT.
I got to focus. Go ahead.
Yes, no, I actually was taking a little bit of look at you, the man, the person, and I think the Packers could use two of you, but I realized that you have a twin brother named Alvin Jones, and I did some studies about twins.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah,
See, there we
right
go.
there.
That's amazing. I wonder if this applies to your relationship as twins. I read that twins start interacting in the womb at 14 weeks, although you wouldn't know if that was the case, but if you have a closeness.
Maybe
40% of twins invent their own languages that no one else, your own words, your own syntax. This has nothing to do with you, but I learned that Gisele Bundchen actually has a twin sister named Patricia Bundchen, so that's weird. Like, how about your brother? How about your relationship with your brother? He's a football player too?
Yes, he's a football player. We played together all the way up into college. Then I left. I got drafted, and then he went to Baltimore for 2 years, and now he's playing in the CFL. But a lot of what you said is true. We've made up our own language before all of that.
Wait, you got some some words?
I can't even remember. We were younger. I can't
it's when you're younger.
But people were like, "What are y'all saying? Like, what are you talking? Like, don't worry about it."
That's wild. So I saw you do your foundation with your brother, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're one of the 3 finalists that's at NFL honors for Man of the Year. So that's next level. That's out of the whole league. This is your second year, I think, coming back and doing this, which is, that's amazing for such a young player. A lot of times that's a player at the end of their career. Like, what is that foundation about? And it's pretty cool.
Yes, our foundation is geared towards the youth and military families and giving back to underserved communities as well. We feel like the youth is the future. A lot of kids are born into unfortunate situations that they didn't ask for, they have no control over. And so if I could be a resource in my community to even the playing field for them or maybe an athlete giving them advice or whatever it may be, just being that in my community. I wish when I was growing up I had a professional athlete who I could pick their brain, want nothing from them but just to pick their brain and let them know that, hey, I can do this.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. All right, I figured out our target here is Ahmad Green. Remember Ahmad Green?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of went under the radar, I think, during the Favre years. 8,322 yards. Okay. Aaron Jones right now is 5,284 rushing yards career. That leaves you 3,038 yards short of the Packers' record. If you average over the next 2 years what you did this year, which is about 1,100, I'm thinking you could break the record in around October of the 2025 season. So we got to get 3 more years with the Packers, most likely.
I'll try to do it in 2, but yes, sir.
I like that.
It's good luck. That's your number 33. You got
you got
the special Aaron Jones hats. Like where I don't see those Aaron Jones hats. That's like a special one.
This one we came out with it last year, and then the push was like around the Super Bowl last year. So
one last thing quickly is like, what would you rather do in a big-time game? Would you rather run someone over and, like, take their manhood or make them miss and take their manhood and have them, like, at your feet? Either way.
Why the take their manhood?
Either way,
make them miss for sure.
Okay.
It just looks both of them look bad, I guess, but we definitely make them miss.
Have you gotten the scepter from our colleague Kyle Brandt?
I have not gotten the scepter.
See, we would like to get one of those, and then we can focus on making them miss. That actually hurts less, right? Not having to run over guys.
It definitely hurts less.
All right.
You can play a little bit longer like that.
All right, Aaron Jones, we are big fans of you, and best of luck going forward with the Packers. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There he goes, Aaron Jones.
Nice gent. Nice gent. Good vibe.
I liked him. He'll be back, but it sounds like there's going to be a restructure situation there for him to make it happen.
I think he sounds driven to stay with the Packers and achieve that record we talked about.
I was surprised that was even a question, but he does have like a $20 million cap hit
That's when
you're a running
RB.
back. But he's also coming off arguably his best season. I think it was the highest he ever had his yards per carry. He's healthy. He's playing so that's one where you push the money a little bit into the future. And I think he'll be there at least 2 years.
I like that he was honest about the fact that it is not only annoying for us,
irksome,
but for Packers players to deal with the Aaron Rodgers heightened drama year after year. I mean, he basically sort of said, yeah, it's a bit of an annoyance.
I wonder if this is the end for Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, I believe is in now day 3 of his darkness retreat.
He might not know that.
We heard some speculation that this is all a mirage.
Rodgers said
just, like,
that this was
exhausted.
scheduled for a couple weeks from now.
No, not the darkness retreat, and not him wrestling with retirement in his mind, even if he's likely to come back. But the whole idea that he would leave the Packers, that the Packers want to keep him, and
But
he ultimately wants.
But then
to stay.
why?
It's not a mirage because we're talking about it show after show. It's a tangible thing that we have to deal with verbally.
But if it's a
every
mirage
episode.
and he's under contract, right? Why is he going through the whole rigmarole of telling everyone that he needs to disappear for 4 days to think about
Okay,
it?
the retirement thing in his own mind, that's not a mirage, and who
Okay.
knows? Maybe he'll shock us with the retirement. But him leaving the Packers, you were with me that we've heard some buzz that's kind of all.
I just don't know. I don't know if I believe anything with this anymore. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway, good conversation with Aaron Jones. Let's now talk to another star of the gridiron who lines up behind the court. Here we go. Up next, Austin Ekeler. Joining us now, another star running back, one of the great all-around playmakers in football from the Los Angeles Chargers, Austin Ekeler. Welcome to Around the NFL. Or welcome back.
Yes.
I remember the first time you were on the show with us, it was remote, and I was really struck by the logo that you had behind you. I think it's your home setup.
Yeah.
And I want to say with Austin Ekeler that I notice the logo's on point. I love that you have a signature touchdown celebration, the guitar squeal move, which is not only memorable, but like kids can easily emulate it at the playground. This is all subtle brand building, and I'm here for it.
This guy, he's on to me. Absolutely,
masterful.
man. Well, thanks for having me back on the show in person now. But yeah, there's an art to right putting yourself out there and trying to brand yourself and represent something. So yeah, I'm all about it.
Well, Dan's been trying to become a hair influencer for many years. And I think he once got like a free tube of gel.
Not
or
tube.
whatever.
I got several pallets of Redken Work Hard molding paste in 2016, so that was cool.
It's the same thing.
It is pretty nice though. Like you can't really get the full beauty of it remotely.
I can see that though. You got the nice little swoosh going there.
People like the swoosh. Who was it? Jamal Williams was talking about that. There's some silver in there, and that's distinguished, they say. Yes. But enough about me, Austin.
I look at your workout videos that you do, and I think like as a small, somewhat lazy man myself, like what would you give me, without any actual weights? What's the laziest thing that I could do personally?
It's a good outlook.
Yeah.
Way to get into it.
That's because that's going to be a good stepping point for you, right? To
right.
Getting to
I don't think I'm ever. I've never joined a gym or done that. So I feel
it's
like
not always about the gym. It's really about staying active, right? You want to be able to move when you're 70 years old.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to be able to stay active and have your joints feeling good. You don't have knee problems because you just sat around all day forever for the last all your years. And so for me, the most lazy thing that you could probably do that's going to keep you active, I mean, I would say like going on like walks.
Okay, well, I do that.
Like
I do that. I was thinking the next level. I do a lot of
walk.
running. I do a lot of running. But that's I'm thinking more like, to make me look a little less diminutive.
Jump rope.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's
there
what I was looking for.
There you go.
But here's another aspect to Gregg and to Dan. Like a number of years ago, I attempted to get into all this, and I think you were in this world too. I did Beachbody. And was ripped. See that? So I was ripped mercilessly, show after show for it, and that sound drop would play endlessly.
Strong.
Just tell them that they're in the wrong on this.
Beachbody. Wow.
There was
this has been talked about a lot. That
there was
its own sound.
Absolutely.
It did for like a year. Yeah.
There was a female spokesperson that we were wondering if Marc was in it for the working out or just to be closer to Amber Calabrese.
That's
well, hey, we all have our own motives. You know, you don't question people's
That was
motives
not
as long as they're going. You know?
No judgment zone. No judgment zone.
Didn't that like turn into like a Ponzi scheme or something? You know.
No,
I think there's still
somebody-
a thing.
There's still
Okay.
Still,
Yeah.
I mean,
this is
no
the episode
shade
where
to
Gregg
Beachbody.
gets sued. Okay, good.
You played this Chiefs team, and you guys have been quite productive offensively against this Chiefs team. So actually, like you, maybe more than any running back in football, has the experience of knowing what to do and maybe how to attack this Chiefs defense with some success. What would you say to the Eagles? Like,
you got to have the ball at the end.
Okay, well, yeah, that's
what it is. That's what it is. You got to have the ball at the end, right? And so how do you control the games? Offensively, you got to run the ball. You got to be able to run the ball. If you can run the ball, you can control the clock, right? You limit possessions that you're going to give away potentially, and then you have a better chance to have the ball at the end. And so, man, it's tough. They're so sticky. Like, the Chiefs are so sticky. Like, they're always in it at the end, right? Like we've seen with just seconds on the clock, go down and get into field goal range, kick it, and win the game, right? So you got to have the ball at the end.
But you guys did do that. You did run the ball well against them.
I know.
The Sunday night game was,
right.
I'm sure, massively annoying to you.
But it always is. I feel like every time we play the Chiefs, it comes down to the last drive. Like, even when we played them, Thursday night football at the beginning of the year, it was the last drive for us to go down and score. So.
That's right. You had your sons at the game, and they're
the previous season, the
burgeoning
Thursday night
potential
game,
Chargers fans, and they were at that Chiefs game.
They were. Kelsey walk off in OT. That was a tough one too.
Yeah. I've seen.
Not to dwell on such.
I've seen two of those now, man. Like, I'm tired of seeing that for sure.
Well, and we don't need to dwell on the Jaguars game either. That was a tough pill to swallow. But I do wonder, just from your angle as a player, because the week before, in a relatively meaningless game, you guys, starters are in there till the very end, and Mike Williams goes down, and there was a sort of a Reagan-esque trickle-down effect to all of that in the next week to not have him on the field. I mean, were you guys all on board with the Brandon Staley-esque nature of that that's the way he attacks week after week?
Yeah, man, there's so many ways you can look at it. For us, we're never thinking we're going to get hurt when we go out there, right? So that's not part of the thought process as a player, but it definitely is a possibility. Like, you can't be naive. Like, you're definitely going out there in harm's way if you go out there. And so for us, it was in the mentality with Coach where he's like, hey, we're going to go out there, we're going to play, we're going to get a rhythm going, we're going to go out there, and you guys are going to just play. So that was my mindset. I'm going out, I'm playing. And then for me, we got taken out in the fourth quarter, and so I was surprised by that because I didn't know we were coming out or what was happening. That wasn't communicated. So in our head, we were just playing. And then, obviously Mike ends up getting hurt, which doesn't help us, right? He's one of our bigger playmakers out there, and so it's unfortunate, but it's not something that you could be like, I don't know. You can go both ways. We're like, sure, you don't play anybody, but then you didn't play last week, and so I don't know. For me, I play. That's why they coach, right? I show up. What do you want me to do, Coach? Right? You want me to play? We want to sit out. Let me know.
I'm thinking, as we were heading to the Super Bowl this week, we said goodbye to some of our coworkers, our production staff, and one of the last things they said to me, because we had Justin Herbert, your teammate, on the show last year, they said, and this was multiple women, said, if you see Justin Herbert down there, can you maybe put in a word for us, or
get a huge ask.
Yeah, get him like our number, which is not professionally appropriate.
No, I wouldn't do that.
But I'm wondering, has that happened to you a lot as a guy who spends a lot of time with Herbert, that they were trying to use you? Can we use you to get to Justin?
And by the way, we apologize for Gregg.
We had to do this. Yeah.
Look, I'm not out. I'm mingling amongst people where I'm in a situation where people are like, "Hey, give this to Justin," type of thing. I try to stay away from people especially during the season. Kind of live in my own little shell. So no one's asked me that.
Herbert does seem to have a strange pull on the women folk. That is something that's a undeniable thing.
I'm gonna let y'all observe that one. He's just my teammate in there.
Tall,
we play
you've handled it very well.
Nice long hair. But we didn't call these women out by name, so I feel like
but you know who you are. You are one of the rare players in the sense that you embrace the fantasy community. There's an antagonistic relationship between players and fantasy a lot of times when you hear these guys get asked about it, and the abuse players can take online, which is garbage, obviously. But you, in addition to being arguably the most productive fantasy player, you love it. You do a podcast with our buddy Matt Harmon. Like
Yeah.
that is this like? Do you think you'll be in the fantasy realm after your playing days? How do you see this path?
Fantasy is so powerful, and the reason our game is as strong as it is today is because of the sports betting world and the fantasy world. Absolutely, there's a fan base there, but the thing that took us to the next level as far as our exposure and things like that and the loyalty is definitely the betting, right? Like I have so many fans. I have so many more fans that are fans of me because of fantasy or sports betting that are instead of Chargers, right? Like 90% of the time people coming up, hey, you're on my fantasy team. I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a Bears fan. I'm a this fan, that fan, but you're on my fantasy team, so thank you. Let's get a picture, right? And that's so powerful, right? It's so powerful to be able to connect with those. And so I found a lot of value within the relationships that I've built in the community that I've been putting myself into, like all the branding and stuff like that. And so that's why I've tapped into the fantasy sports world. And it's so powerful. I wish more guys would. You got to look past the trash because there's a lot of it. Yeah. There's a lot of people, I need 2 more points, this, I ought to roundhouse kick you in the jaw, all this random BS, you know. But you get down to it, especially for coming off a good season for me, it's like, man, these people are really excited to talk about you, see you, want to take a picture. So I love it.
We needed an Austin Ekeler back in the day when I was working at Roto World to really fully embrace it. I don't think we had that. How's your relationship with Matt Harmon? Because we did work with him for a long time, and he's like a bit of a diva.
Yeah, he's a new guy on the block. Liz was there. She crushed it last year. She got poached by ESPN, so good for her. Matt came in, and I'm just playing. It was really good. It was really good with Matt. No, we had a good time. We had a good time. We bounced things off of each other. We went to podcast form, so we rocked it again.
I love it. Again, you just connect the dots. The logo, the guitar celebration, big on fantasy and gambling. Ekeler gets it.
Forward thinking.
Gets
exactly.
Can you actually play guitar? That's my last
Yes,
question.
I have been learning. So yes.
Can you play Wonderwall?
I cannot play Wonderwall, no.
Here's a guitar.
Now's your chance. Awesome.
Austin, before we let you go, what brings you to Media Row?
Yeah, so I've been working with Sleep Number for like 5 years now, and actually 80% of the league right now, 80% of our guys are on Sleep Number beds. And as you all know, we're all human, right? A good night's sleep, right, leads to good energy, right? A good start to the day, right? So you can get those walks in.
Marc hasn't had a good night's sleep in
No, I have like massive insomnia, so I may go purchase one of these ASAP. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the great thing about Sleep Number is you can customize the bed to your own fitting. Like you like it harder, you like it softer, you like it to adjust. Like they have cooling, they have heating, they have all this.
Like a modern day Craftmatic.
I was going to say, is there for Marc? Is there a less nightmares mode?
They might be working on the psychological part.
What does it all mean? Can you stop those thoughts from happening just over and over?
All right, Austin Ekeler, thank you so much. Yes. Good luck down the road.
Awesome, I appreciate it. Wow, the Beachbody. Throw it in there at the end.
Exhausted.
Good stuff, boys.
That man, he does a nice job branding himself, Austin Ekeler.
Yeah, I think
unbelievable.
These players don't wait until their playing careers end to figure out what they're going to do next. He's got like 4 or 5 significant ventures already unfurling while he still plays.
Is that another thing that we should be doing as well?
Not if we're hosting NFL Honors next year. Or
we have to get involved with, I don't know, NFTs or
I don't think
I think we missed that boat.
Yeah.
I don't.
What about the ape thing?
I think that's a problem as well. He did feel seen though. He felt seen by you. I think he.
Did you think I struck a chord there in a negative way?
No, I
didn't mean to.
I thought there were some individuals might take it that way, but I think he looked at it as a compliment. Like, you see what I'm doing. There's no malice to it. I'm just trying to be.
There's not a lot of subtlety to it.
A business. Yeah,
that's fine.
That's where he could take offense, but I don't think he. I don't think he did.
You don't have to be subtle. If you want to be business-minded in addition to being a great player and he puts in the work, a lot of people say he's pound for pound the strongest man in football. You've heard that bandied about. So,
well, he doesn't get the same endorsement deals that Justin Herbert does and others, so he's making his own way. Like,
right, Beachbody never gave him a call. I mean,
speaking of Herbert, he wasn't looking to help out anybody back in L.A. on the Herbert romance.
Do you think Herbert needs a lot of help?
It's not Herbert who needs help. It's certain individuals that are back in
Why would Austin
Inglewood.
Ekeler? I wish for these females that they have all the fun that they can have with anyone, but it's like why would Austin Ekeler burn favors to help anyone in our media group? Except that he is very media savvy.
I wish you could have seen Travis's face when you made that comment about women wanting to have
I don't know.
all the fun.
You answered your own question.
I wish well for them.
If he does a favor for someone within NFL media, quid pro quo, bro.
Right. I think that would be the only angle that you could come from.
And quid pro, this is a no Brett Favre commentary zone on today's episode. Everyone's got to.
Oh, right. He could sue us.
Exactly. It's happening around our sphere. Just be aware of that. It's all around us.
I will be aware. Are you looking at
litigation
me?
is all around
for
us
some reason. Okay.
But you do have something to share, a strong take about that situation. Go ahead, Marc. The floor is yours. Marc Sessler, Los Angeles, California. Phone number.
Don't even attempt to set me up on this.
He's a gigantic human being.
What jersey? Oh, Randy Johnson.
Kyle Brandt walking by. And you're right. He has been in that gym. He's continues to. He's a bulky in the right way. He's a bulky man.
What is that?
Thank you.
He
works out.
Company person.
This has a Friday show feel to it for sure.
All right, let's take one more break, and then we'll get to some sandwich props. All right, welcome back. Let's get into the Super Bowl preview. Sandwich props presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook sent us the following same-game parlay for the big game. This is kind of fun little data points for you.
Okay.
Specifically, Gregg.
Well, no, okay. I will listen, and then I will comment.
Okay. Well, that's why I'm teeing you up on it. Jalen Hurts over 249.5 passing yards, plus 115.
I like the running from the Eagles more, even in a big game.
Right. Patrick Mahomes over 324.5 passing yards, plus 180.
Feels fair.
That works.
Getting a little extra juice there with the plus 180. That's
Eagles over 2.5 total TDs, minus 190.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
2.5 TDs by the entire team.
Total, yeah.
Well, absolutely.
What's the odds there?
Minus 190.
Yeah. See, but
you're not getting it's tough.
Not touching that. Just
tough sitch. Not that you would.
No, but it's just not. I'm not interested.
Yeah, but
perhaps some other people are.
Always,
they should be
important to remember though.
Yes.
We have a code of conduct, and we have signed
that's what I just said to
the
Marc.
NFL's gambling policy before every season. So
I thought Marc was like scratching an itch. I said, no, don't touch that itch.
No, to cycle back. That's what I was. I understand the policy.
Anyway, odds and lines are subject to change, so be sure to check out the DraftKings Sportsbook app for the latest. All right, let's get into it.
Wait, Dan, what are the combined odds for that same game parlay?
I don't know what that means, but it's plus 475.
Ooh, okay. So you got to attach them all together.
Wow, thank you, Gregg. All right, let's get into it. Sandwich props, Super Bowl 57 edition, always a integral part of our Super Bowl week show where we really kind of put ourselves out there with a prediction about the big game. And Gregg Rosenthal, I'd like to start with you.
Okay, I will start, and it's
Hang some onion, buddy.
It's been a long season. I feel like you can go back and listen to our Thursday preview show for everything we think's most important in this game.
I hope so.
I love the Eagles. I love the high-scoring game. I love the running game of the Eagles. But we're here in the desert, right? And it's dry.
Nice.
I'm just chugging.
My lips are killing me.
I'm chugging that water day after day. My lips are cracking. My skin is cracking.
Getting like a semi-nosebleed.
It's not great. And maybe it's
that's maybe a symptom of a much more serious issue, and you must get medical attention as soon as possible.
Right. I'm not saying it's a full-on, but when it's dry out, that happens to some people in their noses.
And it can happen. So it could have been a long week. You came down here for the Super Bowl, and you might open the wallet, and it looks very dry. And that's why I'm just focused not on what's the most interesting thing to pick, but I'm just thinking what is the wettest thing to pick on Sunday. I don't care that roof is closed on Sunday. I looked at all the numbers sent to us here by DraftKings, and I looked at Isaiah Pacheco, and I looked at that rushing total, and it's at 47. And I looked at that Eagles defense, and I think Andy Reid will listen to our preview show, and he'll know that you got to run the ball, and he's got to know that those pass rushers are coming up the field, and there's big lanes in the middle, and Pacheco's running guys over. And I know that roof may be closed on Sunday, but it don't matter because it's going to be raining inside a State Farm Stadium. Let's go. The Rainmaker's coming out one last time this season. We've been on fire. Open it up and pour.
It's getting easier for you to do this, which is both good for the show, but also
stupid.
Little troubling.
Yeah, it's all
about
stupid.
what is Gregg's next career step.
Although I think he's hit on an absolute. I absolutely think that's an absurd place for Pacheco to be at.
Absurd.
47?
Yes,
47 yards.
That was the one in my heart that really jumped out quite a bit.
They do like to pass the ball in Kansas City.
Yeah,
I just think this is a
Just
game
like a
that
thing
sets
they're
up
into.
for Pacheco. But maybe that's maybe what they got going on here.
Pacheco is the hot kind of everyone's hot in the pants over Pacheco. And everyone's very hot in the pants on Pacheco, and this idea that he will be the X factor could be. But Patrick Mahomes also, there's a chance he throws it 52 times, and if that's the case, Pacheco is going to find it tough to get over that. Barry, what is it? 48?
47.
Yeah, it's pretty good though. I think it's a good Rainmaker.
Sound.
But just everyone be careful because for Gregg it's just like, oh, I'll throw this out, throw that out. For you, it might be about whether your kid goes to college.
I need someone to go check, but I think we're 5-2 on the season. Something very strong.
And you know what? There's a big difference between 6-2 and 5-3.
That's true.
So there's a lot riding on the Rainmaker.
Those are unconfirmed stats, by the way.
They're
they
thrown
seem
out
to become,
by the Rainmaker
they
himself.
They inflate every time we hear them.
I'm sure somebody else will give us.
I'm actually pretty sure I'm 5-2.
It's like actually 2 and 5.
No.
People having
the key
their
was
homes foreclosed.
we started on a 3-game hot streak to start the season.
It's like, oh,
Nice
guys,
little cushion.
a guy came up to me on the street. He looked like, he's been in the street for a while, and he said, yeah, I love your show. I can't listen anymore because I followed Gregg's advice, and they turned my phone off so I can't listen to the show
Yeah,
anymore.
like thanks to Gregg, I have a bounty hunter chasing me down in the middle of Arizona.
You never think about that. That's with
Zero
great
accountability.
Power comes great responsibility.
I mean, 5-2. You should be.
Maybe. Mine's going to be pretty simple. I'm on record. I'm way out there on a limb here that the Chiefs are going to win handily on Sunday. This is a take that has put me in that position where it could look very bad. Or, conversely, the old Sessy move where it goes that way and all of a sudden you look like you know a little thing or two. So I'm going to continue to lean in that direction. And we know how great that Eagles pass rush is. We talked about it, all the different layers and how they can get to that QB with so many studs who just rack up pressures and sacks. And we know that Patrick Mahomes, even though he's telling everyone he's fine, he's not 100%. He's not as nimble as he is before he got his ankle rolled up on. Did you know, here's a Mahomes stat from NGS. He was sacked for the first time in 128 scrambles in the AFC Championship game. How is that possible? It went from the AFC title game last year to the AFC title game this year. Every time he evaded pressure in the pocket or had a rollout of any kind, he was never taken down for an entire season. He also has the lowest sack rate, 17.6%, and high success rate, 35.1% on extended dropbacks. So this man's comfortable in the pocket, can get out of the pocket. You could send all your pass rushers at him. He'll find a way. What do we think about the Chiefs' offensive line? Give me 1 out of 10, Gregg. Where do you put him?
8.
Good line.
Very good line. A historically great quarterback of evading pressure. All this talk about the Eagles pass rush winning this game, Mahomes doesn't get sacked on Super Bowl Sunday.
It's an onion hanger.
I think also it lines up with I told you about the width of their schemes, their offensive formations.
Yes.
I went out there with my own measuring tape at times.
You also told us Hassan Reddick would be the MVP, so that
well, I was trying. That was showmanship, where I took it in multiple directions to keep the listener on their heels.
That's what you do.
You're about to do it again.
Go ahead, bud.
What are we taking? Are we saying if we're taking you on the?
Oh yeah, we never did that.
I'm not taking Gregg's because I totally agree with that.
Well, this is why you're in last place. You always take everything. Just take everything.
But I have done that the last 14 times, and I'm still.
But you're that confident.
I'll take you up on yours.
I'll take you on it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll take you on yours.
Okay.
That's bold.
As will I.
You were the winner this year, by the way. You did a good job.
Here's Akbar rolling in.
What's up to you guys?
All right.
What's up,
buddy?
buddy?
See ya.
I love Super Bowl week. Akbar just jumped up.
Goes to my gym.
Really?
Yeah.
Speaking of not feeling,
I would love to see you next to
enough.
Akbar Kubaja Biamila and
it's not doing me any favors.
Work it out. See you working out.
Yeah. Where are we at? 13-4.
Look at you.
In the sandwich props this year.
I went 12-8. I'm happy. And at some point we should go over the over-unders.
We also, by the way, we threw it out to the.
Because I went undefeated on those.
The over-unders?
Yeah, that we did with Mina Kimes back in
you want to do that maybe?
You were pretty in on the Houston one, even though it was technically Marc's.
Yeah, but
I mean, you know that
wasn't.
Gregg is tracking these by the hour.
It's on the Go Get My Lunch website, but we're already long today. We can do it another time.
But it should be stated that we did remember there was some controversy about the Seahawks will have a top 5 pick in the 2023 draft, and we agreed to throw it out to Instagram, and it was decided. Where did it come down?
It was pretty one-sided that everyone thought you did deserve your sandwich.
I said I would stand on what the public thought.
I think you did. It was a bit vague, but we didn't parse it correctly and not in your favor, so you win.
All right, now you, Marc Sessler, are up, sir.
This is simple. I have been seeing this. I've been visualizing this for weeks, even before I knew the Eagles would be in this game. But if they got here, that the whole Philly special business that we've spent years on,
right?
I don't need to, wish
You mean
cast.
the Philly special thing that Chris Mad Dog Russo dismantled?
I don't like the Philly special because they were going to score a touchdown. They were going to score a touchdown anyway.
First of all, they weren't going to score a touchdown anyway. On that show, it was also called.
Don't tell us. You should have told him.
It was also called a 2-point conversion. It was a touchdown.
Well, I don't remember the play too.
It was a game-changing touchdown. And what I am telling you right now is going to happen is because I think that is a play that you cannot deny with the statue out front of their home stadium is interwoven in the sports history of Philadelphia
no
for
one's
all
ever
for
said
all
that's
time.
Not the case.
No, of course.
Agree.
So I think we all get that. The Kelsey brothers, when they did their show, Travis Kelsey has said the same, that it's hard to understand the impact of that play and what it did for the Eagles, their franchise, the city, the whole thing. And I think that you've got a whole new coaching staff here, got a bunch of new players, and it's not the kind of thing where they're going to look on that game and what happened in that game as we must do it differently. I think there's going to be something special in this. I have the Eagles winning, and I said in the Thursday show that I think they're going to win this game by a very special play. Now, for this prop bet, I'm going to go a little simpler because I'm always getting bit in the behind with my specificity.
That's true.
They are simply going to run the Philly special in this game. I don't know if it will be a botch job, if it will be a touchdown. We'll see, but they're going to run the Philly special. It will be called that. It will be noted. It will be tweeted about 1 billion times. I tend to believe, this is outside of the bet, that it's going to be successful. I think it's going to be, I said on Thursday.
So it could be run for like a 7-yard gain near midfield?
Well,
or?
I mean, earlier in that game, Tom Brady had something that wasn't that far off and had that drastic incompletion that was a laughingstock scenario.
Right. Well, what if it's like a variation on the Philly special where they update it and make it new and it's not the Philly special?
I think they need –
Is that the play call?
I think the play call needs to be like the way that you can line certain players up, there can be very little variations on that, but it's got to be Philly. It's got to be the Philly special. You've got to recognize it as that.
Well, I will take you on this. I think that's a problematic road to go down for Nick Sirianni. He's got to blaze his own path. Doesn't mean he can't come up with a creative play. I was thinking for my prop of that he's going to have a huge 4th down call in this game that changes the game. But he doesn't. There's already a statue out in front. If it goes poorly, either way, I don't like the idea of him kind of mimicking what Doug Peterson already did. So I will take you.
Well,
on
it's
that.
a good thing you're not the Chiefs' defensive coordinator. I would hope they'd think that it's in the realm of possibility that you dial that back.
It is. It does strike me a little bit as like the huge hit movie, and then they go for the cash grab sequel. That's not nearly as special as the original.
The Purge 2,
Purge 2 symptom corollary. So and also that does feel like that is the property of Doug Peterson and Frank Reich and Nick Foles. So yes, I don't think that you will get that echo. Now, if they do it, it's going to be a very cutesy nod to the cognoscente.
Yes, it will. And to myself.
Dan is frozen in place right now.
Which would be cool. I'm all for like cool Twitter stuff on Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll enjoy it, and you'll have sandwiches.
Man,
so I'll take you on it, though.
I really thought, and you could see Marc is needing some sandwiches because right now he owes a lot of sandwiches this season.
So many.
I thought he was going to say that another play was going to replace it.
No, that would be
and the
onions.
helmet catch.
No, you can't. You can't replace it.
No, I'm saying
how about
top that, and the helmet catch. Speaking of the helmet catch, by the way, like Kelly Clarkson and Peyton Manning had a little bit in the NFL honors, and they, I think, referred to the helmet catch as the most famous play in Super Bowl history.
I do not care about that at all. How about like
Peyton was with you. He didn't like Eli getting that shine, but Kelly knew. Kelly knew.
I trust
I got Kelly Clarkson against me now?
Implicitly on all things. Beautiful. Good work. And that was the Super Bowl preview Sandwiches edition presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
What a week.
What a week.
Not over.
Unbelievable.
I hate that play. You like that play?
Oh, jeez.
It's going to be the gift that keeps on giving. Anything else, Gravedigger?
I do, actually. We got a video submission from Nick Wesseling.
Oh, this was funny. Isn't it cute? Nick sent it a lock for the Super Bowl.
That's what he asked if he should, and we said he should.
Who was we?
You, me,
we all
and
did
Marc.
on the text
You
thread.
did.
It's cute. He sent it in.
I love it.
Like it's workmanlike.
The lock competition's over, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But if we get a chance to hear Nick one last time this season, fire it off.
Gentlemen, happy Super Bowl week to you. There's a few things I'd like to discuss today. The first of which is, Dan, give Marc his props.
Yes.
Philly Special now has stood the test of time. It was a great play when it happened.
Never said
an
that
even
wasn't
better
the case.
nickname. At least on par with the helmet catch, if not better. Give the man his sandwiches. On to this week.
The Venmo is in the mail.
I'm curious. Why am I not in Arizona right now? You guys have some pull with the NFL. You could have gotten me a ticket or given up one of your comp tickets. I should be there covering. Imagine the ratings boost you'd have with me right now on Radio Row with you. Come to think of it, why am I not getting paid again? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm here for you guys. Just remember that always, even if it's not reciprocated. Anyway, on to the game.
Settling scores.
The Eagles will dominate this game on both sides of the ball. The defensive and offensive lines are going to be too much. They win by 10 points. Take home the Super Bowl trophy. Lock that up.
Stunner, a guy from the west side of Cincinnati, picked against the team that beat the Bengals in the AFC title game.
I think he believes it.
Little
and
bit,
he went
of a
against your
rivalry
prediction,
brewing.
which is a problem for you, but he also confronted you on multiple fronts.
I would say, A, it's not a problem for me on any level.
I think he speaks for the people.
He speaks for himself. I listen to Chris Mad Dog Russo on all matters of the heart and mind.
I listen to Nick.
I do like the idea that he is aware that we have comp tickets for the game and that he didn't get one.
Aware.
He's putting in a little word for next year. So
well,
something to think about.
I gave him a comp ticket a year ago, so I think it was more pointing at Gregg. What are you doing with your tickets? And Dan, how about you?
The NFL
is
did
it
a
all
great,
about you again?
Great
with
job.
The,
They
with
brought
the
all
handouts?
they brought all the Wesseling brothers eventually the NFL last year. What a moment.
Maybe if he would align with my thoughts on various topics, he would have gotten a ticket this year. But I would kind of sense that he was going to betray me in his final dispatch of the year.
You have so many inner issues.
My father-in-law, Watanabe-san, he wanted this Phoenix Super Bowl ticket years back, and
Watanabe's son gets what he wants.
I can't cross that man.
No.
He's going to come rolling in hot tomorrow night.
Sorry, Nick. It was claimed in about I think it was like 2019. He asked for it.
Where would you put?
We got it done.
Where would you put your relationship with your Japanese father-in-law?
Like
where it started to where it is now?
I think it's full of incredible respect.
Was it immediately?
On both sides. No, I've had to prove myself again and again.
Does he respect your career?
Now he does. That I can get him to the Super
initially.
Bowl. No, I think
and you've taken care of your his daughter, and you know.
He did ask me how much money I made the first time I ever met him.
Has he ever said to you?
And when I told him, and it wasn't that much, it was at Roto-World, he said, "That's enough."
Did he ever say anything along the lines of "You bring great honor to the family"?
No.
That's like what you want
I'm still
from
waiting.
your Japanese father-in-law.
I'm still waiting for
that.
In movies, I've seen
that message was
Right.
distinctly absent, apparently.
Well, maybe this will be the weekend.
Yeah. Watanabe-san.
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 I think the fact that his daughter lives on a different continent, that's a tough.
That's a toughie.
Tough one to overcome totally, but yes.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Please.
Let's bring this in for a landing. Yes, Watanabe's son coming in. Keith Hanzus coming in. We got all friends and family. Jessica, thank God. Jessica's coming in. Holy cripes. Imagine she wasn't coming in this weekend. He wouldn't even be at the show on Sunday night.
Yeah, we'd lose him entirely as a human.
He'd be curled up in a corner. But I'm very happy that you've found someone that you're in love with. And
Thanks. Me
I
too.
believe it will stand the test of time.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see her. She's a great time.
And sometimes absence, it makes the heart grow fonder. It's only been a few days.
Yeah, Justin, like little cat and mouse technique here,
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Cat
like,
and string.
Imagine how emotional and
electric, let's just say.
How enthralling it would be if you didn't see each other or talk to each other for 5 straight hours on FaceTime, and then she shows up at the hotel. Maron.
Yeah, you would.
Well,
you would have created that natural, absence, that need to see you, but instead it's a 5-hour-long convo, which I'm glad that happened for you.
I mean, think about the the
I'm very
explosion
glad. Yeah.
if they didn't see each other on a digital realm.
But Gravedigger's like, I'm just going to pull the plug out of the wall.
Yeah,
I'm just
like,
going to start over from scratch.
Next
But
time,
again, I approve.
Like when you in hour 4, you get to what's the UN been up to this week? I think you could.
We're losing. Gravedigger's
short.
starting to not find this amusing, and we're not being amusing.
All right, thank you to everybody for checking out all the shows this week from Radio Row. Next time you hear from us, we will be at State Farm Stadium talking about the results of Super Bowl 57. How cool is that? Till then, heed the call.